Welcome back to another show and tell video. Today we're taking a look at something interesting. This is the SureFire MAG5-60. So what this is a magazine that holds up to 60 rounds of 5.56 or similar sized casings like 223 or other um, similar rounds based on the same dimension casings, although they may not be recommended for this due to exact profile dimensions. But these are no longer provided by the manufacturer SureFire, but you might still see these out there. And I've had these and used these for several years, and these are going to be my observations. So no slight on the product, but again, these are no longer actually being manufactured, but you might still find them out there, and perhaps you may have similar observations if you do use these. So you can see here the shape. And what these are a more compact way to, uh, how to say, cram 60 rounds into a more compact space. So you can see here we have dual feed in the upper portion, which would fit into a magazine well, but then it expands into this larger chamber in which there will be multiple followers, which then push downwards until the internal springs are compressed fully. The base plate does come off, but I will not try to do that right now because that will just create a spaghetti mess of springs and followers. But you might be able to find references online, and we'll go over the documentation that was included with this particular item. So if we look at the bag, let's see here, this one included date assembly. This is a later model from, I believe, 2013, actually May 3rd. Model number, some other lot number information, SureFire, barcode, patents pending, made in USA, cage code, more product info. This was or was ITAR restricted. I do believe it probably still is. Designed specifically for the M4, M16, and AR-15 variants, may not function with some variants, including HK416, M27, MR 5.56. Clear window back on the envelope, and they did include a little bit of other product information for the actual SureFire flashlight product family. We'll set that to the side there. Not really much else other information on this bag. We look at the actual included documentation. You can see here they actually include the /100 round magazine options. They give you some disassembly instructions, assembly instructions, illustrations. Let you look at those there. That gives you an idea of what will come springing out. Continuing on this side, you can see how the internal components are laid out and described in a list, plus all your features from an advertising perspective. Let you look at that. And disclaimer, warranty claims, shipping costs, etc. But you can see here, one thing that you can see right here as this goes down, you see the spring compress, but in order to actually see everything going down into there, you can kind of see through this slit in there, kind of even more springs going on into the bottom. But one problem I have noticed is that the follower does have a tendency to dive a bit. You can see there, and it's holding itself into place. And if that happens anywhere down in here, you could have a binding situation that even a quick slap or knock against the magazine may not be able to dislodge in a timely manner. And another thing I did notice is that with rough handling, with a partially loaded magazine, let's say there's only 40 rounds in here, you've expended 20, or you only put in a limited number of rounds, that does provide a little bit of opportunity for the lower followers to compress with inertia if this is really rough handled. When you're moving around, going into position, changing positions, bumping up against things, or if, for example, you're in a vehicle that is going through some rough motions and angling as well, what may happen is the followers may lower, creating a little bit of a less resistance against the upper springs and follower, and some of the rounds may start to misalign and bind. And I've actually had the bolt lock open, thinking that this was actually empty, reach up, pulled it out to change magazines, only to feel and feel the extra weight of this being still having rounds in it, as well as feeling a rattling of rounds being now misaligned and kind of bouncing around randomly in there. So those were the worst of my observations, and it could be one of the main common observations as well, which might be why these are no longer in production, which is kind of a shame because they're pretty neat looking from a design perspective. And if there was a way to actually change the followers, I have not seen anything about that. And I think it is because of the way these have to stack. There's no way to actually put any stiffeners or different type of follower that would not interfere with possibly the operation of the bottom followers, or would be strong enough to not possibly, have little tabs snap off, etc., through repeat use. So unfortunately, uh, these are still usable, for practice and actually for film applications. They look really cool. So that's might be a little bit on the reasons why the history of these has kind of stopped. So if we continue with a little bit of an extended portion of this video, if you're still here, you get a little treat. You don't see three of these next to each other every day. So what you got here are three actual different dates of manufacture based on the date codes on the tops of the bags. So again, this one is from May of 2013. This one is from July of 2012. This one is from January 2012. So these go pretty far back. And in fact, if I do have these in the right order, you can see there's actually some slight differences between them in finish and assembly. So let's see what you can pick out here really quickly. It's pretty apparent just from finish, wear, and again, assembly would be your clues. So starting from the left, the newest one, you can see here a rivet pattern, slightly different, brighter finish, less wear, of course, because this being newer. They all have the same type of base plates with the same information all across generations there. These two are very similar in assembly, but the finish, you can already see there's a difference. This one to me appears more gray, and this one's a little bit more glossy, and this more matte gray. And you can see how it scratches even a little bit more easier than the glossier style of coating there. So you can see the way these are stamped, kind of the pattern there to help support the followers in that sort of way, but they'll still tilt. You see there the rivet pattern. If we take the one here on the right, see here, very similar finish, but still a slight variation, and it's still prone to scratching. And here you can see a change in the rivet pattern. See if you notice that, particularly up here. Here you got 3 rivets. Here they went with 2. So that's a little bit interesting. You still see severe follower dive on all 3, unfortunately. But here you go. 3 generations, actually. And the very first generation actually has a difference in the instructions. So if we go ahead and pull out, you get even extended portion here to the extended portion of the video. First 2 sets of manuals look like this. The newest one here, pretty similar. But the oldest one actually is different. You see their illustrations are different. It actually has a photo there of the 100 rounder next to it as well. You see the size difference of the 100 rounder compared to the 60 in the picture there. But taking a real quick look at 3 of the SureFire 60 round magazines. This has been another show and tell video. Feel free to check out other show and tell videos on the channel. We also do unboxing videos and a selection of book review media reviews. Feel free to check all those out. Feel free to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you next time.